Okay, I will fix it. You are live. Go ahead.
Alright, welcome back everyone to Questing for Glory 7. I am Xytoriak, and I'm going to be running Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 Tara's Adventure for the Game Boy Color. Joined with me here to help me with comms is somebody who runs this game way better than I can. This is Air of Rudo, the current world record holder. How you doing, Air?
Hey, yeah, not doing too bad.
So, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this started since there's about 5 minutes of, setup with the world building and everything. So, high spirits, if we're ready. We'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Thank you. So the way this game starts off is Tara and Kobe are brother and sister, and we're on a ship heading to the island of Great Log. And we're going to start a new life there. Dad's a farmer, he's going to start a farm there. So we are on the boat to a new life.
Yeah, this game has two different versions. One where you play as Kobe, one where you play as Tara. The version we're doing here, obviously, is Tara's Adventure. That has a couple of distinct advantages in the speedrun. The main advantage that it has is that one of the main monsters that we're going to need to recruit early is both easier to recruit, and we can recruit a better version of it than we can in Kobe. So it opens up a lot of faster strategies that save a considerable amount of time, as well as skipping a little bit of RNG later in the run, but we'll get to that in about an hour and a half.
So, first thing we're going to do here is talk to Mom. Mom's going to tell us that we need to go to the, the mail, like, post office, basically. Pick up something that Grandma sent us.
Yeah, apparently in this game, the bank and the mail center are the same place.
We're going to meet these two fine people, Warabu and Prince Kamea.
Oh yeah. They seem like a nice couple of people here.
Yeah. They're just kids. They're just fooling around.
Yeah, basically just running around, pranking a whole bunch of people, not really caring about the consequences of their actions. Surely there won't be anything too serious that happens from them.
Yep. They pretty much get away with it since Kameo's dad is king. Pick up our parcel, and it's some delicious smelling thing that Grandma sent us, which I don't know how being sent through the mail it still smells delicious, but
A cricket pie, right?
something like that. Warabu found out that we're carrying something delicious, and he decided it's his.
Always thinking with his stomach.
Yep. Oh no. Now we get to go down the well. Thanks, DQ6. It's okay, Chamorro knows Vivify.
Not this early.
Kobe says that's ours, give it back. Uh-oh. The plug got knocked out. Great Lug is sinking into the ocean.
So this begs the question, who is most at fault for this catastrophe? Is it Kamea, Warabu, or Kobe?
Let's see who you blame in chat.
I personally blame Squiz.
It's definitely Squiz.
Grandma's fault for sending the pie.
So we're talking to... Oh, sorry.
That's a fair point.
So Warabu basically said, go talk to the monster tamer, go talk to anybody who will listen, we need to address this. And everybody's like, Warabu, that jerk? I'm not gonna listen to you. Like,
yeah, it's just one of those things where the kids are sent to go find help, and everyone just assumes that nothing is actually wrong, and they're blowing it out of proportion, so nobody's willing to help us save the world.
yep.
Yeah, if Grandma had sent 2 pies, we could have just given one to Warabu.
Could have just had a decoy pie.
That's the true any % speedrun. Just message Grandma before you start the game and say, send me 2 pies. Yeah, and here Warabu's like, it's like, oh, by the way, I should probably give you this key so you can get back. He almost just sent us off to another world with no way to return home.
This is why nobody trusts him with real problems.
Yeah, and so here Terra and Kobe are deciding who's going to go with Slash to be the monster master that saves Great Log, and well, since we're playing the Terra version, Terra gets to go. I'm going to stop off here and talk to Dad. He's going to give us a pork chop. So that's the basis of the monster recruitment process in this game, is every monster has a set % chance to join you naturally at the end of a fight. However, you can increase that chance by giving them meat, which comes in increasing tiers of potency. In this case, the pork chop is going to give us a nearly guaranteed worm recruit early on. And the worm is one of our core monsters to get through. We're going to do very limited breeding in here. We're just going to get a worm that turns into a better worm that turns into an armorpede, and then we're going to get a bear that turns into a better bear.
Oh boy.
So that oh boy is because it's kind of a mixed blessing getting an instant recruit on a spot slime, because you need 10 experience to get Slash to level 10. Or to level 2. Wow, level 10 would be amazing. And you get 3 experience for the spot slime, and now that we have 2 monsters, that experience is going to be split in half. So if you find only spot slimes for the rest of this grind, it's going to be 7 more encounters. Fortunately, this will help a little bit because these are worth 6 experience, so we'll get 3 each. So we're only going to need 4 more experience after this fight. But yeah, there's always that question in your mind when you get a first encounter spot slime and it offers to join, because it's like, do I refuse and hope I get a quick recruit after this, or do I just accept that I'm going to have to take a couple extra fights?
You always take the monster, because the second you don't, then nobody will recruit with you.
Next thing you know, you got a level 4 Slash and still no recruits.
Yep. That's just crit happy, that's good.
Yeah.
If you're familiar with Dragon Quest games too, and you like the level up theme, then this is the game for you, because you're going to hear it a lot.
Oh yeah, the Monsters games are great if you really enjoy the experience of leveling up, because every time you breed monsters, you're hatching level 1s, and they gain like 10 levels off the first fight. Yeah, it's a pretty quick start here.
You just wanted both of them.
Yeah, so here he buys a beef jerky. He's going to be using that to give to a prisoner to get a key item that progresses the story here in a little bit. And then just 9 herbs to, be the core of our healing for the first world.
Alright. So if you guys want to do in chat, want to play a game, we can guess what level the worm we're going to get is. You get to choose 1 through 5.
5, definitely. So the level of the worm is extremely important to the speedrun, because when you recruit a monster, the level does not impact its starting stats. It will always have stats within a certain range of a set value. So a level 1 worm is going to be recruited with approximately the same stats as a level 5 worm. The difference is that a level 5 worm needs like 20 experience to level up, whereas a level 1 worm needs 2 experience to level up. So you're going to gain a whole bunch of extra levels if you get a level 1 worm, which is going to snowball into a significantly more powerful worm over the course of the first couple worlds here.
Level 3. I'll take it.
It's perfectly average. It's definitely acceptable. 4 and 5 are the 2 levels that you'll reset to your safety save here over, because 4 and 5 are just bad worms to get. 3 is good enough to get you through the first world here with some experience funneling. The only real downside to level 3 worm is that its wild stat, which determines whether or not it listens to you, starts high enough that there's a chance it doesn't listen to you. And that comes into play in the next world when we're trying to recruit some monsters. It might kill the monster we're trying to recruit before we're ready to kill it.
Yep. But for all intents and purposes, I'm not going to reset for a 3, though. Yeah. 3 is definitely good enough.
And current world record gets a level 3 worm, so it can work. I spent a lot of time harping on how important it is to get a level 1 or 2 worm, and then boom, I just get a really lucky run with a level 3. Shows how much I know.
So at this point, the king is basically asking us if there any way that we can help as citizens. So I talked to her, and she's like, the well's drying up, so now he's going to do something about that, and we're going to help him with it.
And so advancing the text in this game is a little bit interesting because basically every button that you press on the Game Boy will advance the text. So there's a lot of rotating the D-pad to hit as many buttons per second as you can to maximize the text speed. And so every once in a while when dialogue ends, you might see him take a random step in a weird direction just from not stopping soon enough, or might accidentally say no to a yes or no prompt because, you know, it registers an up or a down. So it takes a lot of practice to like really nail the timing on all the D-pad rotations.
That was a mistake. I wasn't expecting him to get back up.
Always hold B, unless it's the lamp.
Unless it's the lamp.
Yeah, there's not very many things in this run that are just like flat-out run killers. The two major ones are not accepting the lamp recruit, and then the other is breeding the wrong monster.
We're approaching our first boss fight here, and our goal is basically going to have Slash and Sulo die before the end of the fight so that all the XP gets funneled into the giant worm.
Yeah, I briefly mentioned experience funneling earlier. Basically, experience is divided among surviving monsters, kind of, you know, similar to how it works with like Dragon Quest III. And so in this case, we want the worm to get all of the experience from the Beavern fight so that it'll get to level 9. That's going to allow us to have a 100% run chance from everything in this world except for Cactiballs. Cactiballs can have a high enough level range that you don't get that guaranteed run. But it also makes it so that the worm is powerful enough to really trivialize the next boss fight. What we used to do was keep all of our monsters alive here, and the Cursed Lamp fight would be pretty slow because once it casts upper, like everybody's small chip damage is getting reduced. But with a experienced funneled worm, like you're just getting such big hits that it really doesn't matter. And here, this is Beaver, and this is the first boss of the fight. Boss of the run. He's got 98 HP and has 2 abilities. He can attack and he can build up power. So what we are really hoping for is for him to not build up power too often, because that just increases the chances that you might get some crits, get some big hits in there, and he might not kill off your other monsters in time. So we really want to see him just attacking Slash right now. So, and here you can see that he put both monsters on defensive. It's because he got some good damage in early, and just wants to make sure that Slash dies before Beavern dies. There we go.
Nice.
A good crit. And that's the whole run. We're done.
Coming in way below estimate.
New world record right there. No, that was a really good Weaver fight there. We got all the experience funneled into the worm. We get that wonderful level 9. So now we can run away from just about everything, which means we're probably going to find all cacti-balls once we get back up to the surface.
Right.
Yeah, and the nice thing is, with the amount of experience that you get from Beavern, it doesn't matter what level worm you recruit, you will always hit level 9 off of that fight, so you always get the guaranteed runs from most encounters here, which is just so much faster than fighting everything.
Right. Take a 2-second break.
Yeah, this part right here, like, it took me like 10 runs to realize that I didn't have to actually walk out of the throne room and follow the king. It just does it automatically.
So, the treasury was raided, and these people are all gonna go after the thieves. And so that's why the king's like, can't give you the title bell yet because it was stolen, but we'll go get it back for you. But this is a Dragon Quest game. We have to do everything ourselves.
Yep. Yeah, speaking of, the reason we want the title bell was because the plug that got knocked out of the Great Log's navel that caused this whole problem needs to be replaced, and so we're just going to different worlds trying to find magical items that might seal the hole, and spoiler alert, none of them are going to work.
Since we have a good start here, we'll save here, just in case the cursed lamp decides to get crit happy today.
Yeah, cursed lamp crits are a thing that, like, you can't really play around because it's so unlikely to happen, but it does happen.
And if you're wondering why I'm like going like one step into different screens and whatnot, I'm just looking to see if there's anything to pick up on the ground, like these herbs, or if like a staff pops up.
Yeah. If you can get an early friend staff in this game, it's like, oh, it just makes things so much easier. The friend staff is a consumable item that effectively casts the by-kill spell to double a monster's attack power. But it has like a 50% chance to break every time you use it. We will manipulate one at the beginning of the next world, but if you can get extras, then that just means that you're guaranteed to be able to use it on multiple fights, which is huge. And you'll also notice he's not bothering to heal up. It's because, with the exception of the Captain Dead fight toward the end of the next world, anytime you use an item in combat, you're gonna go first. Captain Dead just has a priority move that can outspeed item use. But as long as you don't get ambushed, you're safe to wait on healing until you get into a fight. And yeah, so here we've got the Cursed Lamp. This one's got a little more health than Beaver. He's got 220 HP, but it just attacks or casts upper. You can see here, the worm is hitting for, 16 damage here, so an upper cutting, 1.5 damage off of each hit isn't really that significant. With the old strats, oh nice. With the old strats, this fight used to take significantly longer because you had 3 monsters hitting for about 5 or 6 damage each, and so each upper was cutting your damage by about 1/3. But with the worm funnel strategy here, this fight goes pretty quick. And make sure you're not holding B here.
I'll take that. It's not a bad start at all.
Yeah, it's actually really good. Anytime you get a sub 20 Cursed Lamp, it's a pretty good start. And the Cursed Lamp recruit is really just for one fight, because we got the Squiz recruit coming up, and we want the Cursed Lamp to cast upper on our worm to protect it.
Wahey!
Wahey.
So, we grab the title bell. Oh, it didn't work. So now, Warabu's telling us that the next place we need to go to is the pirate world, but we're gonna go back into Oasis for a second.
Yeah, I got a quick revisit here. We're gonna go back into the well and use the new ability that the Tidal Bell gave us, which lets us surf on water. We're gonna use that to pick up a few items inside the well. Most importantly, a wind staff, which sells for 1,200 gold and finances like the first half of the run all by itself. That pot right there is a tiny metal, by the way, which we don't want. This run doesn't do any tiny metals.
I already had 93 of them in my Dragon Warrior 7 playthrough.
Oof.
Or maybe it's 90, I don't remember. Buy Mad Candle.
Yeah, so with the extra experience that we got from the first lamp fight, the worm is now level 11, which puts it high enough to also run from Cactaballs. So every encounter in Oasis is now a guaranteed run, which is great.
Sell the wind staff. We're gonna buy a beef jerky. We're gonna buy a war point. And then we're gonna max out Earth. There is a maximum inventory of 24 spaces, so it's... Anytime you're gonna max out your healing items, it's easy to be able to... Oh, what?
Oh. There's suspense here.
Warp staff.
Ah, go figure. So that was worth checking for, because if that were a friend staff, that's a big time save. Warp staff, not so much.
We're gonna talk to this beaver here, and we're gonna have him join our party.
This is Beano. We love Beano.
Yeah.
So Beano is a guaranteed male beast that has some pretty decent stats for this point in the game. So he's very useful for the next world, but also lines us up for our grizzly breeding. Now, for anybody that's played Dragon Warrior Monsters 1, that you know that game was very focused on the tournament. The majority of the game is just the tournament. All of your progression is the tournament. Fortunately, in Monsters 2, we only have to do one fight, or one tournament round here. And it's free.
That's good, because I don't think I'd want to have to face Terry. Nice. I like to see the Pearl Gel get knocked out round one.
Yeah, so there's two major places where time is saved or lost over the course of this tournament, even though you have no control over it whatsoever. The first one is right here in this fight. The eggplant on the far right has a chance to dance, and if he has Beano or your worm dancing, then you're losing a lot of damage per round, and it just extends the fight. The other time saver loss is going to come from whether or not monsters are swinging at empty spaces after enemies die, because there is no retargeting in this game.
Sort of just like any of the NES Dragon Warriors. If you feel like everybody attack Monster 1 and Monster 2 isn't in the same group, then once the Monster A dies, then you'll just see so-and-so attacks and then nothing happened.
Yeah, this is the third fight here is where you're mostly going to see that happen, because the enemies have just the right amount of health that one full round of damage of focus fire isn't quite going to kill them, and so sometimes you get some wasted attacks on the next round. But overall, pretty good tournament. And that's it. We can leave the tournament and never come back.
And our prize for winning this is the pirate key. What a coincidence.
That is so convenient. So at the very beginning of the pirate world, you're going to see a little bit of an RNG manipulation here. This is just to set it up to guarantee that we get a friend staff to speed up one and possibly more fights coming up.
Hopefully more, but definitely one. So what we're going to do is we're going to save here. We're going to reset. And I'm mashing away at the A button.
And so this is all going to be based on timing, trying to hit a couple of different 4-frame windows that give us some known spawn locations for friend stabs. The best one to get shows up right outside the shrine here, which we got. The backup for it, if you're just a little bit slow, spawns a staff near the cave, but that one's a little bit worse because it's a few extra steps out of the way, and we really don't want to take any extra encounters here. Because we just have to run away from them. Because if we take any fights and the lamp levels up, it's going to learn the speed up ability, which we don't want it casting in this fight. We only want it casting upper.
At least it's not a solo Octakid, so we don't have to lie to Crimson.
So that's a reference to a Japanese runner, Crimson, who he does a different routing for this world where he recruits an Octakid instead of Squiz. And Xytoriak has a tendency to find solo Octakid encounters just like right away. And the last time we did a group event for this, Crimson was trying to get an Octakid for like 20 minutes because he just could not get good encounters.
Up and shattered. That's fine.
Alright. So yeah, this is Squiz. He's got 350 HP, and he's got a regular attack and a bite attack, which hits twice or slightly less than a regular attack. And as you can see there, it can nearly kill the worm when we're here, so that's why we really want to see it land on the worm. But with its AI, the lamp tends to prioritize keeping it the console. This is another spot where the level 3 worm can impact the situation, because the level 1 or 2 worm has a really good chance of surviving this fight. Level 3 worm, depending on targeting and uppers, it's slightly less likely to survive, but still usually will.
Hey, Error, your Discord is roboting. Do you want to jump off real quick and come back?
Sure. A little bit scary on the damage lines here.
Okay, we're good.
The good news is that if Bino dies here, he does get enough experience from the Captain Dead fight to get to level 10, which is the requirement for breeding. But this is the ideal scenario here, where the Cursed Lamp dies and doesn't steal any experience, and Bino and the Worm both survive. Yeah, sorry about the audio issues. I don't know what it is, but every time Xytoriak and I do something together, one of our audios freaks out.
Yeah.
We have to keep leaving and re-entering.
Oh, what am I doing? I wanted to open the menu there. Whoops. Because I wanted to just, yeah. Let's throw a couple herbs on. Okay. Now I'm not, now my heart's not palpitating anymore.
Yeah, that fight's always a big question mark. It's one of the more stressful spots in the run for a marathon event.
So earlier you talked about how the worm can just kill One of the animals we were trying to, or one monster we were trying to, and this is exactly it.
Yep, so we want to recruit a mad gopher and an army ant, but you can only recruit the last monster that dies. So if the worm doesn't follow orders and decides to kill the ant, you gotta find another encounter. Fortunately this time, even though it ignored orders on both times, it still stuck to the right target, just used a different ability. And with a beef jerky, both the gopher and the army ant are nearly guaranteed recruits. Every once in a while you get a little unlucky. My last run, I failed to recruit the ant with the beef jerky, so I went and bought a pork chop, which increases the chance even more, and then again failed to recruit the ant, so... that kinda sucked. Oh, hey look, it's Kamea.
He found 2 buddies.
Yep, so Kamea's also trying to find a way to plug the naval. He's going about it a slightly different way. He's teamed up with some pirates here. Now, this old man has the slowest text in the entire game.
Yeah, there's some lag
it
in
always
this
feels
screen. That...
it always feels like you're just like doing really poor mashing, but there's nothing you can do to make it better.
There we are. Going to buy 2 ribs. Buy 5 exit bells. Love waters, I can only afford 8. Save, just to be on the safe side, because I only have the 1 beef jerky left. I'm trying to get that mad gopher, so if I fail after using it, I can just reset.
Yeah, there is going to be 140 gold south of the next town. It's one of the nice things about the RNG manipulation is we know what the overworld item layout is going to be. So that money is always there as a backup as well. Hey, a gopher.
Wrong one.
There goes that level 3 worm again.
Okay. Okay.
Good thing that didn't happen last turn. It's a good deal. 2 encounters, 2 recruits. Can't argue with that.
Right.
This is one of the spots where RNG can get you a bit if you're just not finding gophers or ants. Yeah, so this here is a story event that you need a monster that can dance, and Squiz has the lure dance ability, so it counts for this. In other routing for this, if you're doing the Aquarella routing where you recruit the Octokid, the Octokid will get you through this as well. You get to go visit some mermaids.
And I'm gonna do a safety in trip just to be safe.
That does also actually
Reset the RNG.
present the option. Yeah, it's going to reset the overworld item seeding, and so there's a chance from taking this in that you might find another friend staff, or even a world leaf. The first time we did this as a blind race, I actually found 2 world leaves in this world.
Walked out a little hastily there. Just want to make sure we get a save in. This is a marathon run. We're gonna have like a mini boss coming up here, and I'm really hoping that we don't get double banged. Banged twice.
Yeah, there's a bone slave blocking the path up here, and he's usually only going to get 1 attack off. But bang is annoying because, you know, it's obviously going to damage your whole party.
That's annoying.
Jewel bag. It's definitely better than fighting in Iverson.
Yeah.
There are these weird zombie things in here that do an odd step that increases their dodge chance, and they can just take forever to kill.
Yep, there's one bang.
Yeah, he should go down before he gets another action now.
Alright. Now Bino's level 10. We don't have to worry about if he passes away in the next fight. Still try to keep him alive. We're gonna grab that hidden potion. We're gonna grab a few things down here.
Yeah, that potion is going to get us a bunch of extra money, just like one of the ribs that was purchased at the shop previously. There's a little side quest with Mom after we get out of this world, where she's going to send us to go get a whole bunch of things and give us more money than the items are worth to go purchase them for her. And the idea is that we just keep the extra. But we're already going to have the things that she wants, except for the final item, which you gain nothing from actually bringing back to her, so we're just going to get a whole bunch of money for free.
Please listen to me, Worm. Nope. At least he hit a bone slave.
Yeah, the key to this fight is we want the bone slaves dead as quickly as possible, because once again, Bang is just the big concern, and now there's two of them. It's a little scary here because Captain Dead does have the priority attack that can outspeed the healing items.
Oh, now they wanted it to... Ah.
Only one hit on the call help is good.
Yeah, this is still... scary. Okay. Just got a lot less scary.
Nice crit in there. Yeah, so this fight benefits a lot from having a friend staff. The time save on this fight is slightly less than the time that you save using it on Squiz. But if the friend staff doesn't break against Squiz, or you find an extra friend staff in Oasis early on, then this fight goes so much faster. It's a lot less scary.
Captain's doing a good job of spreading the damage now.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's got 500 HP, by the way. So steadily climbing in the boss HP. Nice. It's a good Captain Dead.
Especially for how it started.
Yeah. Yeah, that level 3 worm is really showcasing its downside today. As basically, the monsters that we're recruiting at the beginning of the game are going to have 25 wild stat per level that you recruit them at. And level 1 and level 2, you're going to have 25 and 50 wild, which is low enough that it's going to listen to you no matter what. Whereas level 3 at 75 wild may or may not listen. Kind of similar to not having the correct gym badges in Pokemon.
The good news, though, is that we only have to worry about one more fight with him, and then we'll be getting a new worm.
Yep, monsters that you get from breeding or that are static recruits like Squiz or the Lamp start with 0 wild, so they will always listen. Which is also important because later there's a progression trigger that requires you to have 3 monsters with 0 wild.
So, the thing that we got off of the ship was a moon rock, and that's going to be useful in this lighthouse because we're basically going to put it here and it's going to take all these shoals away. So it's like, if you played any other Dragon Quest game, like you usually get like a base of the thirsty pitcher or something like that. It's basically the same idea.
Yeah, or the moon fragment from DQ2.
Yeah. And we're going to use the first of those exit bells that I purchased. I found one earlier and used it already, but that's just like a... It's basically cast the spell outside.
Yeah, now we're coming up to the next RNG wall of the game, and this is arguably one of the biggest RNG walls in the run. It's how long it takes to recruit a female Darkeye. The good news is that we know which Darkeyes are female based on formation, so there's no guesswork there, except for in the scenarios where we find a formation we have not seen before, which
I've been really good at finding lately.
Yeah, we keep thinking we found them all, and then it's like, nope, here's another one.
Funny, well, be in a Discord call with them and be like, I don't see this on the list. You're like, yeah, that's a new one. And then we're science.
Yeah, the ideal situation is we find just a solo Darkeye, because that will always be female, and it's just the quickest fight for the recruit here.
Mimic.
Yeah, don't look at that. And the reason we need a female Darkeye here is we're going to be breeding it with Beano, and Beano is always male.
This is a female. It's the worst
This is the worst female. But we take it because it's a female. The reason this is bad is because these Tortrigons have so much defense, and then once the Darkeye starts blinding your characters, it just makes it that much harder to get them down.
That's fine if he ignores the order. That's not as good, but...
Yeah, you'll notice that we used a bookmark up on the upper floor there. That's because if we either take too much damage to the point that we can't survive another fight, or we don't get the recruit after using the rib, we can just reload the save file and try again.
I'm also not... I can't use any herbs or anything here because... Oh, sorry, Squiz.
You can use it before using the meat, and it's usually fine.
Oh.
But if you heal your party, it does reduce the chance that monsters are going to join you. So you really don't want to do that after throwing the meat.
Well, it's one Darkeye versus one Beano.
And my money's on the Beano.
As long as she doesn't radiate... Oh! I just commentated curse myself.
It's okay, Beano's got the defense to power through it. And after this recruit, there's no more fights for the rest of the chapter because we have Repellent. And we just need a monster to have at least 51 HP to survive some damage tiles. Wow. No recruit. So it's about a 95% chance to recruit that with the rib, so... That's incredibly unlucky. Get the worst encounter for a female Darkeye and then not even get the recruit.
Welcome to Dragon Quest RTA.
Yep. I wish I could say that's never happened before, but I've had many nights ruined like that. We all got to witness a 5% event.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting.
Aquagon.
Aqua Femme. That's female.
Okay, thank you. We're taking care of that slab at first because they're the worst.
Yeah, the Slabbits dodge a lot. They're pretty annoying. I just don't want to see it do an odd step like that.
Do a little, like that.
Yeah, conversely, you can also, if you're willing to take an extra turn, like throw an herb at the Darkeye to further increase the recruit chance, if you're concerned about the reduction from healing yourself. It's always an option. Not as effective as throwing meat, but it helps a bit. And as you can see, this fight is just so much faster than the 2 Tortrigons.
Although I am blinded right now.
Yeah.
Come on, do it. Yay!
We got her.
Geno's at 81, so I'm good for health.
Yeah, it's kind of convenient here because if after that fight you don't have anything that's at 51 or more HP for the damage tiles coming up, you can just bring the Dark Eye along with you and it's always going to have around 80. So you don't have to, you never have to worry about the damage tiles. You just have to figure out if you're bringing the Dark Eye with you or not.
Get more.
Here, Kamea and his goons are going through their...
They're not having a good time.
They're not as good at this as we are.
Aye. So there's some lava up here that we're gonna walk through to get a war ring and and a world dew. Get the herb while we're here.
And so what the War Ring is that's an accessory that when it's equipped on a monster, it'll gain 1 extra HP every level. There's a couple different ways to route this run. The safer route, which we're doing for the marathon here, you equip that on your bear just to make it tankier as you level up. And the other option, if you're playing a little bit more risky, actually skips the upcoming side quest with Mom for money and sells the War Ring. So you have a squishier bear, but you save some time getting the money that you need for later. But we're gonna go for bear HP this time around.
Well, hey. So what happened in that little cutscene was those 2 thugs that Kamea had with him were monsters, and they betrayed him, and then he threw a tantrum, which caused the the floor to break away.
Earthshaker Kamea.
Yep.
Yeah, so here we're gonna go swing by the farm, talk to Kobe, pick up the army ant and the gopher that we recruited. There's a couple of spots where you can turn those in. We're gonna give the gopher to Dad to help him do some digging, and then we're also gonna give the army ant to a merchant to help move some boxes. Now, you do have to do both of these, which it doesn't really matter what order you do them in. It's obviously faster to do it in the order we're gonna do it here, where we talk to Dad first. But whichever one you do first is going to give you a tiny medal, and the second one is going to give you the ice key, which gives us access to the next world.
Oh, a tiny medal. Thanks, Dad. I'll treasure this forever.
And throw it on the ground in front of him. And the reason we do that is you can't sell the tiny medals, and they just take up bag space. And bag space is very precious in this run. So you only got 24 slots.
Oop.
And all of our healing is going to be coming from items.
Aaron mentioned that earlier. The reason I just accidentally spun to the side and opened the menu is because I'm trying to make the text go faster. Oop. And then there we go. Okay. As if to prove your point.
Yeah. Timing the end of dialogue and the yes/no prompts is a skill that takes a lot of practice. Yeah, it's a good thing gophers and army ants aren't good monsters. It would really be unfortunate to have a strong one of those and then come here and it's like, hey, can I use that ant for a second? And you're like, oh yeah, sure. And it's just gone forever.
Yeah. So we're gonna momentarily hear the best song in the game, or one of the best songs in the game.
There's so many good ones in this game.
I'm thinking this one.
Yeah, the Starry Night theme is fantastic. We're also gonna hear the Ice Overworld theme soon, which is so good.
Yeah. I'm glad that they like panned away or didn't show the lewdness there. You don't need to see how an armor pede and a worm mate.
Yeah, so here we breed our worm with the armor feed there. We're still going to get a worm out of this, but the worm is going to be able to learn the twin hit spell, which is by kill or oomph for more recent games. Doubles the attack power of a monster. So our basic strategy going forward is going to be cast twin hits on the bear and just watch it rip things apart.
Wonder what the name for this worm is going to be.
This is always one of the really fun things of the run, is the random names. It's just, gives it a little bit of freshness every time.
Hey look, it's PL.
That's good.
Shout out to Northrax.
Yep. That's a DQ5 reference where we recruit the Slime Knight Pierre. And I've got a great sound file of Northrex saying, "Hey, look, it's Pierre."
Finn. That's a good bear name. So that last thing, that Lar mirror that we got, that gives us the ability to punch through boulders.
For some reason.
Yeah, so now we have a shortcut.
So we got PL and Pin. Oh, Northrex, you can't get away from that. It's going to get referenced in every single marathon run forever.
There's another fantastic song in this game.
Did you put the war ring on the bear, or do you only do it on the second bear?
I've only done it on the second bear.
Okay. Yeah, we used to put it on both, but then we determined that it didn't really matter for ice, and it saves you a trip to the bank later when you breed the bear to get it back.
Okay, so this time I need to buy 2 log twigs. Oh, and before I forget, sell my orca cape.
Yeah, so the log twigs are a pretty cool item that lets you move the location of the shrine on the overworld. So we're going to drop it at a more central location so that our warp stabs take us to a more convenient place.
We're still on the repellent that I used before, so until that runs out I shouldn't get any encounters. I'm gonna use the log twig right here.
Yeah, repellents in this game are 100% effective until they wear off. There's no level check or anything like that, like with repel in other games. It's just as long as repellent is active, you will not get any random encounters. And here we actually talk with Rubus, who gives us the crest that will allow us to interact with the royalty of the different kingdoms around here and help solve their problems.
Red staff.
That's really good. So that I would switch them to defensive before the first fight, since you got the friend staff here, by the way. So the friend staff here speeds up this first encounter, where Squiz is the only one that's actually going to be doing any damage. The friend staff is going to get us through there nice and quick.
And the other two, and the babies are still really squishy.
Oh yeah, you want them on defensive for this. So since, oh my goodness, this this would be a terrible encounter to have without a friend staff. Yeah, the worst part about this is when the worm does what it did there. For some reason, the worm gets really brave, and even when you have it on defensive, it'll just start swinging and take full damage.
Okay.
Everything's fine here. Got a little bit scary.
I didn't see. Did it shatter?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, there's 2 more fights coming up where the friend staff is useful if it survives beyond this as well. But this is the last one that's like a significant time save.
Here, if you like the level up music, you're gonna hear it a lot.
Yeah. It's a good experience fight.
Yeah, we'll probably get like level 10 and 9.
That sounds right for that encounter. Yeah, ideally the first encounter that you get is just like a solo gizmo, because those die really fast, and even though you're going to get less experience than this fight gives you, it really doesn't matter, because if you can see the stats going up here as they're speeding by, you can see that the bear is gaining between like 11 and 20 attack power per level, so we're scaling super fast here to the point that they're already both stronger than Squiz now.
You can see like the bear already doubled his HP.
Yeah, and at this point we actually want Squiz to die as soon as possible so that he stops leeching experience, as well as avoiding getting any extra levels on him, because any time with him spent leveling up is just time that we're standing still, not advancing the game. But we are still going to keep him with us. He has 1 more round of babysitting at the beginning of the next world, but from this point on, Squiz is more of a detriment than a help. Hey, this is a great first encounter to get.
Oh. Fix that next time.
I don't know what it is, but this menu, when you're putting the worm and the bear onto attack, it's just like the hardest menu in the game. Something about it. Oh no, it's a bomb crag.
Charge, command fight, command fight. Alright.
Yep, so this here is the bomb crag. He's got 650 HP.
Ooh!
Mostly... Wow! Last HP is the only one that matters, everybody. Yeah. Never forget. That was pretty close. Yeah, so...
What is this?
Every time I'm gonna start discussing this guy, he's just like, wanna see what I can do?
Oh, that's so funny.
So, he does not have an increased chance to crit, in case you're wondering. That's just some crazy RNG there. He basically just has attack, build power, and then a rock throw. The rock throw will only damage, like, it hits all of your monsters, but the bear is immune to rock throw, so it'll only damage the worm. And apparently, if he's feeling like really in the mood, he just crits.
Oh, that was fantastic.
Now we do have a world leaf, which we would like to save for later, but in a situation where the worm had died there, the world leaf would have been used.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild.
Not once, but twice. Wow.
And both of them going down to 1 HP.
Yeah.
Alright, well, now we got that out of the way. We're gonna head back to the castle here and talk to the king, and we're gonna get a fight with the Ag Devil, which we just like to play a little game. What do you think AG stands for in this case? Spoiler alert, we know what the answer is, but we want wrong answers only. I think the favorite one that I've heard so far was Attorney General Devil.
Yeah.
I think that was Evil Ash that had that one.
Normally I would do this after the fight, but since I'm down to 1 love water, I want to make sure I've got enough for the fight. And we were gonna buy him there anyway after the fight.
Yes, the Ag Devil's gonna have 550 HP, so for the first time we're actually going down in boss HP. It's wonderful. He's got a couple of abilities that are a bit problematic though. He's got Firebane, which obviously is going to deal some decent damage to both monsters. But he also has Sleep Air, which we do not want to see.
We're gonna get a little revenge on Kamea here. That wasn't it, Tara. How about here?
So we're supposed to be finding a weak section of the wall for him to break through, but Xytoriak likes punishing Kamea for being a jerk. He's like, yeah, this is the weak spot in the wall. And just slams his face into it.
I just love how his reaction is, Tara, that wasn't it.
And as you can see here, that section of the wall was colored slightly differently, so it's pretty clearly telegraphed, but why not injure Kamea in the process?
Right.
I think it would be funny if doing that enough times made it so that the next time you saw him, he had like a bandage or a bump or something.
Band-aid on his forehead.
Yeah.
I don't think I've got twin hits yet. Nope. Just gonna fight.
Right. So here's our agricultural devil. And the main thing we don't want to see is Sleep Air putting Pin to sleep, because he's most of our damage.
And this is exactly why I bought those love waters first.
Yep. I wouldn't say you're accidentally correct, Axis of Anarchy, but Agriculture Dev is one of the top options for sure. As we all know, it's actually AG is the atomic symbol for silver. It's the Silver Devil, which every time I try to say it fast, it does not work. So I have to say that one slowly.
So now we get
this comes out Silver Devil.
To bring back Squiz.
Yeah, welcome back, Squiz. You can be alive for a little bit. So we have to revive Squiz because there's a story event coming up that requires all three of your monsters to be alive. And then as soon as we're past that, we want Squiz to die again as quickly as possible.
So I'm gonna go ahead and like prime him by putting him in the front. Warp staff.
Yeah, butter him up.
Yeah. Butter him up, do the story event, then go in for the dunk. We're going right back to where we fought the bomb, Craig.
And one thing you'll notice here is that we're not getting very many overworld encounters, even though he's walking through the trees and the hills. The reason for that is that every tile type in this world is glitched and has the same encounter rate of 1. So it doesn't matter what type of ground you're walking on, you're just not very likely to get very many encounters here. Whereas normally it's, you know, plains have a depletion value of 1, and then like trees are 2, I think, and then hills I believe are 4.
That would have been the perfect like first fight.
Yeah, that's the fight you want to see outside because it has almost no health. Just a couple of hits from Squiz and it's over. Or if you use a friend staff there, 1 hit.
And see how patient Kamea is.
That is true, Cowie.
Trying to do a dance to cheer up Princess Yuna, but...
Yeah, so the king's got I guess you could call it a competition going on right now to try to cheer up his daughter because she's been seemingly soulless for some time and he's trying to snap her out of it. So we do our little circus act here, but somehow this doesn't cheer her up. I don't know, man. I think she's a little too high maintenance.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a worm jump through a flaming hoop? That's awesome.
A giant worm.
A giant worm. And a squid. And a bear.
Have you ever seen a squid, a worm? Sorry. So a giant worm, a squid, and a bear walk into a bar. Oops.
And Yuna didn't care.
Yeah. Gonna talk to the cursed horse. Winnie.
Yeah, so the king mentions that ever since she visited this forest, she hasn't been the same. So we come check out the forest, and it turns out her soul is just stuck here in the forest. Hey, it's a Mudron. Mudrons have beat. If you're really lucky, they can cast beat on Squiz.
If you're really unlucky, they'll cast beat on either other monster.
Yeah.
But he hit Squiz, so it was in the right direction. Ooh. Another Mudron. Oh, Iron
Go
Eyes.
for Squiz. And of course, everybody's just going to target the food hero.
Oh, hey! Hey! That was the perfect...
You got it.
Oh, come on!
It's okay, Unicorn knows Vivify.
Yeah. Is that a unicorn named Chamorro?
Sure is.
Okay. Oh, you want to get up? Bad.
Wow. The natural Foo Hero recruit. That's one I haven't seen yet.
Alright,
So we're gonna stuff Yuna's soul in our bag.
Yeah. Oh, that's weird. I didn't know that. I've never walked over the forest after that before.
Oh, yeah. It does not re-enter it if you go up through it.
Now, I'm gonna do a little safety save here because this next boss can confuse your bear, which is terrible.
Yep, this is Puppeter. Again, going downward in the boss health. He's only got 400 HP, which is going to take us 2 turns to do, unless we get really bad turn order. The big threat here is he does have Metapani Dance, which attempts to confuse your whole party. And if that lands on the bear, your bear might just, you know, destroy you.
Guess he'll just dodge an attack.
But outside of that, the bear is going to be dealing 200 damage after casting twin hits on it. So 2 hits from the bear knocks this one out.
Now the soul comes out of our bag and back into her body, and she's back to herself.
Yep, and she lets us know that the Queen of the Eastern Kingdom is also experiencing trouble, so we're gonna head that way. Also nice that Squiz did die to that forest encounter, because that means he didn't level up from that fight.
There was also still a chance that the puppeteer could have knocked him out too, but every time you move the goalpost like that, it never feels good.
Yeah. Also, if Squiz is alive on Puppeter, it's like somehow he's just alive all the way through the end of the game.
Yeah.
It's a pump voice. I don't see those very often.
Can we use that in a run one time? Like on Dark?
That sounds right. Yeah, I think I remember seeing a geyser on Dark. Love water.
I'm going to, yeah. This is a really dangerous, like, area, so I'm just gonna preemptively heal.
Yeah, so similarly to how I mentioned earlier, we know which Dark Eyes are female based on encounter formation. There are also a tendency toward ambush or preemptive attacks based on formation, and there are some really bad encounters here, like this one, which have a high chance to ambush you. Thank you, game, for showing us this one.
They're all twin-headed.
Yep. Yeah, so this is a terrifying fight. Stubbirds are potential run-enders because they have twin hits. So hopefully Pin picks a good target here. Okay, we should be okay here.
Okay.
A little bit scary, but we're fine. We're fine. I didn't even get to finish saying the curse. It was mid-curse. Yeah, the other really bad encounter there is 3 stub birds. Anytime you have multiple stub birds on the screen, the first thing you want to do is cast twin hits on the bear. Like, nothing else matters. Just, you need to make sure that you're one-shotting them and not two-shotting them.
Okay. You can breathe again.
Things fine here, situation normal. Yeah, so now that we've got the sleeper, we can solve the problem that the Queen of Estria is having, which is she's stuck asleep. I don't know why the sleeper solves that problem, but you know, we're not gonna question it.
Yeah, it's not like it's called an awake herb. Ooh. For you. Apparently a fight. Just because I keep...
That's what we call professional movement.
Yeah. Nice. Love to see the worm jump out of the way for once.
Hey, worms are more agile than you expect.
Oh, a potion. I don't need to buy one later.
Nice.
You need to. Am I out? Yeah, 1. Okay, we're gonna buy them before the fight again. I might grab that gold too, actually. So I'm gonna buy the 3 sky bells first.
Yeah, so the sky bells cure confusion, and we actually buy them here and hold on to them for the final boss. We don't always end up needing them, because he doesn't always land confusion or even try it, but it's good to have them, just in case. And so here we're gonna find out that she's being kept asleep by a goat horn. And he's gonna have a nice chunk of HP here, 850. So this is the healthiest boss that we've had so far. So, as usual, first thing we're gonna do, twin hits on the bear. And then turn 2, it's generally a good idea to try casting Stop Spell. Because if you can prevent him from using his AoE damage, then it saves time on damage, animations with the screen shake, and then also healing. But it's not guaranteed that Stop Spell is going to land, as we see. Yeah, another benefit to landing Stop Spell is once he's only doing single hits, you can start pre-healing for the next boss fight. Because if you can do that in combat instead of doing it from the overworld menu, it saves you a little bit of time.
Go grab that gold and then I'll warp staff back.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what's nice about the log twig, is that central location right there for that shrine is just so perfect. We're just already back up here at the lake.
Oh, recognize that sprite. That guy's the dude that had the curse lamp earlier.
There is. And so this fight, it's not the same goat horn. It's got less health, fortunately. But the 2 guys on the side have about 200 HP as well. Pin should be able to one-shot them unless he low rolls his damage. And it's okay if the worm dies here once twin hits is out. It's actually kind of preferred for the worm to die here because you're going to get fewer level ups from the experience here, and they've kind of reached the level where their stat growth starts plateauing and it doesn't really matter anymore. So it's just a time save to have fewer level ups.
Well, yeah, and like this is the last time we're fighting with these because we're going to be breeding them again.
Yep. Yeah, the stat gains from these levels are so small that it's not going to translate to very much extra power on the babies. And we return the crest to Rubus, and we are done with this world.
Well, hey.
Oh, hey.
Oh shucks, the sky shield didn't block the plug.
Surely the next item will do the trick.
Now we're gonna go meet Kameya's dad. He's gonna be like, Kameya hasn't been around, but have you seen him? And we say, yeah, he's been, you know, he's been hanging out with us with all the different worlds we've been in. He's like, oh, okay, well then go to Sky World and gives us the key.
Thanks, Kameya's dad.
Before we go into Sky, we got a few things to pick up. We're gonna get the Drac scale out of this pot.
Yeah, Drac Scale's a nice little safety item. It's gonna give whatever monster you equip it on 50 bonus defense. So, throw that on the Armorpede that we're about to breed for just a lot of physical defense power. That thing's gonna be almost immune to physical damage.
Gonna use our +2 giant worm with his spiky boy, and we're gonna get a +5 Armorpede.
And the nice thing here is that since this is our second round of breeding, there's a lot more stats going into it. So even with the stat reduction from going back to level 1, the inherited stats from the parents is so much higher that the Armorpede and the new bear are going to be strong enough to actually contribute to the first fight, even before they start gaining their initial levels. So it's not nearly as bad as the first ice encounter. Yeah, and here we're breeding the grizzly with the wild ape. Wild ape is gonna give our bear the ability to learn the by attack ability, which turns into quad hits. And yeah, quad hits plus twin hits is just a lot of damage.
It is. Yep.
Especially with a bear that's gaining, like 15 to 20 attack power per level.
It's exactly the way Air's preferred gaming style, just unbridled aggression.
Unbridled. Just keep swinging until they're all down. Excited to see what our new names are.
Yeah.
This is always the best part of the run, just seeing what the new names are gonna be.
Yumi.
Yeah, we like Yumi. I've had some good Yumis before.
Race. Yeah, that's a good
Wow, I haven't seen that one in a long time. Actually, I think the last race that I saw was a worm. Yeah, there are some random names that are at least monster family specific. Trying to think. Yeah, because like a very rare random name that you can get on a slime is like any slime, regardless, not just a blue slime, but any form of slime. Is you can actually get Slib, which was the starter slime from Monsters 1.
That's such a good name.
Yeah, Slib is an awesome name.
Okay, so just like the beginning of Ice, we're going to take a fight outside here before we go into the first thing, and there's going to be a ton of level up jingles. Hey, what's that glitch next to the Fang Slime?
I don't know, that's weird. Anatoly, you familiar with this? Are you here? Always have to rib Anatolo on this encounter because I have a high rate of getting just a solo Fang Slime, which is just the fastest fight here. He's never gotten it before.
tons of level ups. And by like level 12 or 13, that's when the Yumi is going to start learning so many abilities he can't remember them all. There we go.
And with those levels, we're now strong enough to take on the fights inside the tower. And this is what I was talking about earlier. The progression barrier that requires 3 monsters with 0 wild. That door won't actually let you in unless you have a fully tamed team. Which we have because Squiz starts with 0 and so do hatched monsters.
So this is a great fight for Squiz to take a little nap.
Cast a bolt. Yeah, here we swap the monsters to attack instead of charge. Because if you're on charge and you have an offensive ability, like even if it's just a spell, then there's a chance it uses that instead of just attacking. And for the armor P, that's not ideal because we want to save its MP for more important things later. And for the bear, it's a bad thing because it learns Ice Bolt, which does almost no damage when he could be swinging for 100 damage. So we want to just take away the option for him to use Ice Bolt. And there, at level 15, Yumi learned Evil Slash, which is the most important thing for the early encounters, because we're going to have a fight coming up against a boss version of a Metal Babble, which we want to use the Evil Slash for because it's a 1 in 3 chance to crit every time that you swing it, so it's much faster than just trying to fight your way through it. The Hectic Turtle's showing up.
Learn twin hits again, which is awesome. Queer.
Chocobo?
The same, ooh. Boys.
Bleh.
There we go. Didn't have to do any extra outside of battle menuing to get them up to really safe HP levels. That's nice.
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag with extra encounters here. Because on the one hand, if you want to go just really fast, you want the encounter that gets the armor P to level 15 to be the last random encounter that you get.
Yep.
But for safety, it's really nice to get those extra levels because there are some pretty rough random encounters on the walk to the next town. After which there will be no more random encounters for the rest of the game because the shop there sells repellent.
So yeah, the difference between Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 and Dragon Quest Monsters 2 is just the region thing, just like the old NES games, if they're Famicom versus NES.
Yeah, it's just a language difference because at this point, Western titles were still Dragon Warrior due to copyright issues. So here we get to see the first usage of the change staff, which turns you into a monster that's on the screen with you, and so we trick that guy into thinking that we're a monster, and he lets us go by. That also leads to a little bit of an RNG wall in the Kobe version of the game, because when we get to the cave that we're heading to shortly, there's a hole that we need to go through in order to actually enter the cave. Now, Terra is small enough that she can just enter the hole and there's no problem. Don't worry about the fact that the giant bear behind her also has to fit through. We don't question that. But Kobe is a little bit bigger, and so he actually has to turn into a smaller monster in town before he can get through. Really nice walk there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on the Kobe version, there's a bit of RNG where you're just using the change staff in town until you turn into a Skullroo, because it's the only thing on the screen that's small enough to get through the hole.
Wait.
Saw some love waters.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was...
Went through so little healing there that it's easy to forget that your inventory is nearly full.
There we go. Well, I was also like dumbfounded at how little gold I have compared to usual.
Oh yeah. It's because you used so many love waters and ice that you had to buy a whole bunch of replacements.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now that we have these repellents, we have no random encounters for the rest of the game. So the rest of the game is pretty consistent because it's just boss RNG instead of hoping for few encounters.
Since I bought... I would have saved like 1,000 gold just in case I needed to buy another world leaf, but since I haven't had to use mine yet, I just decided to go for the world dues.
Yeah, and there's still chances to pick up some stuff on the overworld that some of it can sell for quite a bit. Like if you find an elf water that sells for almost 2,000 gold. Almost used the there's a little bit of gold management, but from this point on, it's not for anything required. It's just for more stability. If you can find some expensive items on the ground to sell, then you can buy some extra world dues or an extra world leaf. But for the most part, we're just kind of hoping that what we've got right now will last, because we've got a world leaf and 5 world dues at the moment. One of them is going to get used. Hey, nice potion. One of the world dues is going to get used after this next fight here. 1, to top off both of our monsters, and 2, to free up inventory space for the quest item. But yeah, for the end game, we should have the leaf and 4 world dues, and then more if we get some lucky gold.
The game heard me.
That's a pretty good deal there. Can afford some more too. Now here the question is, how many swings does it take to kill the Babel? One. Two. Yeah, I want to say the worst one of these that I had was 14? 13 or 14? Something like that. It's pretty bad.
Mine was like 8 or 9 so far. 3 is like
3 though is right on average.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is your traditional Babel with tons of experience as a reward. But the nice thing about it is it can't run away from you, so it's stuck there until Evil Slash lands.
I see that Race just learned buy attack there, so that'll be useful in the next fight.
Yeah, the next fight is just a weird RNG wall. It's usually not a problem whatsoever, but he can also kill the run. It just really all depends on what actions he decides to take.
That's actually why I bought the extra bookmark. But before then,
We got everybody's favorite, the ice puzzle tower with no ice.
so Aries got some tower trivia as we climb. As the notes say, I didn't name it this way. The notes say it's the dumbass ice puzzle tower.
True. That is indeed what it is called. Now you may be saying, there's no ice here. Well, it's because we're doing this cloud surfing thing that always goes in straight lines, so it operates the same as an ice puzzle.
Yeah. If this was a Zelda game, this would be like the ice
Or the hookshot
dungeon.
room.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so we do have a tradition of tower trivia to pass time while we're in here, so let's see what we've got here. Alright. Fact number 1. The yearly air conditioning condensation of the Burj Khalifa could fill 20 Olympic-sized swimming pools. Now you know.
That is impressive.
Yeah. It's quite a bit. Let's see. Oh, this is always one of my favorites. It took a total of 199 years to build the Tower of Pisa. Construction work started in 1173, but finished in 1372. The Republic of Pisa often joined important battles that forced the constructors to stop the works for extended periods.
I wonder. Well, I mean, I guess, yeah. I mean, for that to be built over the course of 200 years, that means that there's going to be plans that some workers saw like, these plans are terrible. Like, what was my predecessor thinking?
My great-grandpa worked on this tower, too. And on the flip side of that, the Empire State Building took less than 14 months to erect. 410 days, to be exact. Thanks to the assistance of 3,400 workers eager for a job during the nadir of the Great Depression.
That's so wild to think about how such an incredible building like that could be built that shortly. Especially when I think about like road construction.
It takes 3 years to build the house in the complex next door.
They've done like 2 city blocks of the road outside my apartment building, and it's taken like 9 months just to do like 2 square blocks for one straight. Like,
yep. We got one more floor here, so one more fun fact. Last bit of tower trivia. In February 2014, a pair of Russian climbers ascended Shanghai Tower before it had been completed, wearing 4 head-mounted cameras, but no apparent safety gear.
that's scary.
Yeah.
First I was gonna say, I kind of want to see that footage, and now I don't really want to see that footage.
That's just anxiety in a video right there.
Right. That's worse than like the Super Mario representation of anxiety with like the fireball sticks everywhere and
Which isn't as bad as the drowning music in Sonic.
I haven't played enough Sonic to know what that is, but I trust you.
It's just the music will kill you before the water does. Alright, so we got the heaven armor now, and we can finally leave this wonderful place.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now we head on to the puzzle castle. This one has a few small puzzles in it. Ooh. Free world do. We like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at the bottom of this castle, though, we have a fight with Night Rich, who... Yeah, he can be completely free, or he can kill your run. It really depends on what he wants to do. We'll go ahead and take bets on whether or not we think he's going to call Diago on turn 1 of this fight. I'm pretty sure he will.
He's given me so much PTS from this run that I had an anxiety attack when I saw him pop up in Dragon Warrior 7.
Yeah. It's like, not him. Anybody but him.
It wasn't just him, it was 4 of him.
Oh my. Yeah, so here we're really enjoying the benefits of the repellent because the fights in here are not quick. There's some pretty brutal monsters in here. You solved that puzzle really fast. You're good at this.
Thanks. This next puzzle is like one of my favorites.
Oh, the bells?
Yeah.
Yeah, so here we're guiding the ghost back to his coffin. And then there's one more puzzle after this, and it's the classic follow the eyes of the skeletons to find the hidden switch.
Or just look up a guide to see where the switch is.
Well, what's funny is the first time we did this, it was a New Year's Eve blind race a couple years back, and we were using the Countess's notes for the run, and the notes specifically said where to go for the switch. But I got to this room and I immediately recognized. I was like, oh, I know how these puzzles work. So I actually walked around and followed all of the skeletons before I realized that the notes actually said where the switch was.
We're using the bookmark that I bought back in Pirate for this moment, because Night Rich is not fun.
Yep.
How many times does he meditate?
1500 HP. Oh gosh. So yeah, every time you see him meditate, he's healing 500 HP. So that's a third of his health.
Oh, Diago turn 1.
Hi, Diago.
And he outspent the twin hits.
Okay. Alright, so the two things that we don't want to see Diago do are lick our Armorpede, which is going to drop its defense to 1. And we don't want to see it twin hits Night Rich, but we definitely don't want to see it do both of those things. Those two things in combination just equals dead Armorpede. Game, I gave you the opening for the commentator curse. What are you doing?
Oh my, that was the nicest Night Rich ever.
I tried. I really tried. Yeah, no twin hits, no sick lick, no meditates. That's what you want to see. It's a really good Night Rich fight.
Right, and I dropped the other log twig on the overworld earlier, so I could use this warp staff to come right back, because that brings us right to the final boss of this. First, we're gonna stop at the Yeti Inn for Countess.
Wound, wound.
I do have enough for another. I could buy another leaf or another dew.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the dew.
Yep. Do the dew.
Alright, so now we're moving on to the castle of a boss that some people have a lot of fun experiences with. I'm sure everybody here has at least seen some DQ6 content and knows how wonderful Mudo is. Probably everybody's favorite boss ever.
Hey, I could have bought both.
Yeah, that Elf Water is just a full MP restore, but it sells for a ton of gold. So if you can find those before the last shop, it's really nice, but we're already in really good shape for resources here. Yeah, so here, if you pop into the kitchen and turn into the cook, then the guards just let you through, and you don't actually have to fight them. So it's not that the game overlaps with the 6 story. It's just that Monsters 2 came out shortly after after DQ7, So there's just some references to 6 and 7 in here, along with obviously the previous games. The first Monsters game came out just after DQ6, which is why the Gate of Reflection ends with the Duran series. Yeah, so here we get the Steel Fang for the bear. It's going to be 50 extra attack power. Not that the bear's really lacking in attack power at this point, but every little bit helps me.
Mudo hop.
Yeah, so Mudo's got 3,000 HP, and it's going to be the first enemy that has access to D-Magic, which is freezing waves. So we're going to have to refresh the twin hits once in a while here. But overall, he's not nearly as bad as he is in in DQ6. It's a pretty free fight overall. It's just a question of how often you have to refresh twin hits.
Man, I got a fast bear today.
You sure do. Yeah, the ideal scenario is twin hits goes off before quad hits.
I haven't gotten the double quad hits yet.
Oh man. Well, this is a slow Mudo because he keeps removing it right before quad hit.
And he keeps going before it goes on him.
Yep. Good job, Yumi. You're doing great.
Hey, there we go. There's one.
Just in time to be out of MP.
There was. I should have used the World Do there.
Yeah, he's should be down here anyway.
I figured that I had at least one. You know, he was either gonna D-Magic or. I didn't feel like he was gonna kill somebody that.
Why does he look so cute in this one? I don't know. I think in this one it looks like Mudo got hit in the face a little hard. They definitely didn't translate his sprite over very well from DQ6.
Yeah. And that creepy smile when he opens his mouth.
And he doesn't hop. Like, that's the best part of Mudo. It's the hop. And the wiggle.
But this is Dark. He's the Monster King.
Oh yeah, and Kameya's here too, by the way. So, kind of similar to the story of DQ6, Mudo is just a projection that Kameya was using to control monsters to try to find something to plug the navel. Here, we make a deal with Dark that we're going to bring him all the treasures that we found, and he'll give us the key to Limbo so that we can bring it to him. And then if we bring him all that stuff, then he'll give us something to plug the navel. And surely we can trust Dark, right?
Oh yeah.
He seems like a nice guy. Where was Warabu holding those?
I don't want to know. Maybe he was trying to make more, like he was wedging them in between his belly so that like there's more pressure.
He's just patting around him in the hole.
Got 2 fights left. That guy that's been a pain in our rear end. He had the Curse Lamp, and then he had the Goat Horn and the Archdemons. He's gonna be the guy that's gonna try to stop us first. And this is the scariest fight of the game.
Yeah, this one's got this one's got a lot of ways that it can go wrong. The biggest issue here is usually Grakos, because similar to the Slabbits that we ran into earlier, Grakos has the ability to odd dance, and oh my goodness, the fact that the quad hits went all in on Grakos and then he danced from Squiz is just the perfect start. You want Grakos to be dead as soon as possible. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, that was a pretty ideal opener there. The only main concern here is that Squiz is still alive. That's a very bad thing for PB attempts because there's a lot of experience here. And so if Squiz survives this fight, it actually costs like a minute and a half. Or yeah, maybe about a minute, and then another minute or so if he survives Dark as well. Yeah, now the slowest thing that can happen is the Dead Noble casting Heal Us, but just because it's a slow animation, but only having one enemy left for it. There it is. With only one enemy left, it doesn't take up that much time.
It's a pretty good fight, other than Squiz, but...
Yeah, with the exception of Squiz surviving, that was a really good bridge fight. And now there's just Dark, the final boss of the game.
We'll still have about 8 minutes after his fight, because timing will end at the end of the credits. But... because there's still, like, inputs to do during the credits and whatnot. Just gonna go ahead and use the elf water right now. I didn't know that. I thought it worked on everybody. Oh well.
Oh no, it's just a full restore on one.
Okay, well we're fine. And potions. I thought it was like the world do. Today I learned.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome. Alright, so Dark here has 4,000 HP, and the two things that are concerning that he can do are Giga Slash and Confusion. Obviously, same thing with a puppeter fight. We don't want to see the bear get confused, but that's what we have the Sky Bells for, so fortunately we don't have to worry about the bear actually killing anybody, but it does waste a turn to use the item. The other thing, Giga Slash is going to deal a ton of damage if it hits the bear. However, if he targets the Armorpede with it, it's actually going to do nothing, because the Armorpede is completely immune to Giga Slash here. It might be worth an early do here, just because bear is a little bit low.
Maybe love water.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, the bear's just sitting at like right at the upper range of the Giga Slash damage, so it's just like a little bit scary.
Well, he dies, I still believe, so...
He dies, he dies. Or you can just keep Giga Slashing the Armorpede. That's fantastic. Oh! No one actually went after the bear and missed.
No. There's a world, dude. Wiz is gonna live.
There is. Yeah, this isn't a particularly threatening final boss. Once you're past the bridge, the game is basically over. It's just a question of how long it takes to fight Dark, based on how often you have to stop to heal or recast twin hits. But the boss definitely feels like a victory lap. GG.
And this is why it kills PBs, because you have to sit through Squiz's level ups.
Yep. Dude, one time I missed PB by like 3 seconds because Squiz survived.
Oh, hey look, it's the plug.
Yay.
Oh, hey!
And this run does use JRTA timing, so it goes all the way through the end of the credits. So from here, it's about 7 more minutes, but we are going to come in just a couple minutes ahead of estimate here. Pretty good run.
So since everything's still rumbling, Moribu thinks the that the island's still gonna like fall, so she's telling Tara to get out of here. But then all of a sudden we see this magic popping in, and see that we're getting magic from all of our friends we made along the way.
Power of friendship plus plus. Remember, you can stop mashing now.
I did.
I have a tendency to like not be paying attention at this point, and I'm just sitting there still rotating the D-pad trying to progress text that isn't there, and I don't even notice it until the scene right here with the old man. It's like a minute after the text is done, and my thumb is just killing itself.
Is it because that sprite reminds you of yourself?
That is hurtful. Like 1 year older than you.
Yeah, but I feel as old as him sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. I do too.
Oh, I forgot the queen riding the cursed horse.
I love these little scenes. They're so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's gonna be a little bit of movement coming up here after a conversation with the king, and then we get to hear some of my favorite ending credits music in the entire series. It's just so incredibly good.
Yeah. So, just like most DQ games, we're gonna be brought in front of the king and thanked. Then we're gonna see more shenanigans happen throughout the credits.
But no trumpets. That's why we don't have to fight Zoma.
We got whistles though. People are whistling.
People do whistle.
And then he does finally admit that what Kamea did was shameful. But did anybody learn their lesson? I mean, was there any lesson to learn?
I mean, the lesson that I learned is if you behave recklessly, then fun adventures ensue.
Right?
And there, Warabu shows up with a magic key, which kind of kicks off the post game, which is random keywords.
And Warabu obviously didn't learn anything because he just pushed Tara and Kobe and took their lunch money again.
After everything we've been through.
Right. Overall, this is a really good run, huh? The Dark Eye was funny. You got the terrible fight, and then no recruit.
We actually had a nice bit of RNG showcases there, because we had the level 3 worm that didn't listen, but fortunately didn't screw up the ant recruit.
Yeah. Did the Bomb Craig crit for exactly enough to leave with 1 damage? Twice.
That was so good. Yeah, this was a very good run. This is like the kind of run that you want to get in a marathon event where you get to see a little bit of everything. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. And overall, like with the safer notes, like the route that I used here, if you go to the DQ compendium and you want to learn to speedrun this game, Anatolia has 2 versions of notes on there, and this is the safer route, and this is pretty much just like step for step the route that I did today, showcased here. So definitely, like, I want to take time quick to like thank everybody who's like brought the run to where it is too. So that'd be like, you know, Anatolu, the Countess, you, Hactical. It's been I was like really skeptical when I first like started learning this game, but now that I've like got a solid foundation on it, it's a really fun game. Really fun speedrun.
Yeah, it's a really fun one. It's pretty chill. It's fairly quick as far as RPG speedruns go. It's one of those games that you can just throw down on a weeknight and just relax with. There's not a whole lot of like really stressful parts to it unless you're really going for a top time. But like if you're just doing the run to do the run, it's one of the most chill experiences I've had with a speedrun. And Xytoriak picked it up not too long ago, and you know he's come a long way in a short time. And his current PB is only about 10 seconds off of what the world record was when Hactical and I started streamlining the route a bit. So yeah, it's pretty easy to get into, and you just spend some time with it, then The consistency of execution really pays off.
Plus, it's fun because, like, I mean, I know a lot of us have like a lot of nostalgia for Dragon Quest games, and you know, I hate to like compare it to it, but like, you know, Pokemon is really popular, and this is kind of like, it's almost like not the same, obviously, but there's some parallels.
It's like Pokemon with a better breeding system.
Yeah.
Where you actually get to create different monsters. Yeah, playing these games casually is a lot of fun too, because there's just so many options. Like the things that you can do, the different team builds that you can do is a ton of fun. And then as a speedrun, it's just one of my favorites.
Getting close here. There'll be one more like text scene. That's gonna look very familiar to the beginning. Alright, Kobe, you're smart enough not to jump off the top of the tree.
I would have jumped. There's no fall damage in this game.
It's an RPG, there's no fall damage.
Yeah, exactly. First thing I do when presented with a long drop in a game is just jump off and see if there's fall damage. I don't know how you resist that urge.
I like how like the end of the song is like 10 finales almost. Not quite done, not quite done, not quite done. Now it's done. Okay, so once this comes out, Kameha's gonna knock the plug out, spoiler, and then that's when time ends. So it's gonna say the end right after that. So we fight over it again. And then, once again, whose fault is it? And time.
GG.
Thank you, and I want to thank you, Air, for doing comms with me. This was a lot of fun, and I know you love this game as much as I do, if not more.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I jumped at the chance to talk about this game for 2 hours without actually focusing on inputs.
I think I told Anatoly that you got the day off of work before I did.
Yep.
Something we like to do is just to see how fast, though. We had a 205 agility on the Armorpede, 186. Oh, 19.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good spread there.
Yeah, he was just eager to go after it.
Yeah, there's also a couple of levels off of Dark that do modify that a little bit, but you usually see the difference in agility here between like 13 and 20. So 19 is on the better end, which means we just had a very eager bear.
Well, I think that's going to do it from us. Thanks for watching so far. Up next, we've got John DBS doing Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn, so stick around. And yeah, we're going to keep punching through more Questing for Glory 7.
Thanks, everybody.